What does the future hold for Magic the Gathering in the Commander format? Well, many Magic the Gathering players, as well as many graduate admissions officers, say that no one system could truly predict the future, certainly not a system devised by me, a creative writing major who doesn't know how to divide fractions. Application denied? Well, we'll see whose application is denied now, Dean Kozlowski. Behold, the Commander deck of the future. Today, looking at recent cards and mechanics, our numerologists here at Tolarian Community College have designed a Commander deck of the future using only cards from today. Yes, it makes perfect sense if you think about it. Don't think about it too hard. It's a framing device. In order to build this deck, you will need Eternal Legal Unfinity cards. Yes, 100% of the cards in this deck are Eternal Legal, including the ones we select from Unfinity. No need to ask your playgroup about using these. They're all perfectly legal, so they'll just have to deal with them. The mechanics of this deck use both stickers and attractions, so make sure you have both a sticker deck and an attraction deck ready. More on those in a moment. We'll also be playing cards like Avabruck Caretaker, which use the day-night system. Get familiar with this system, because once it comes into play, everyone will need to track it every upkeep for the rest of the game. Remember, once day-night cycle begins, if it is day and a player casts no spells during their own turn, it becomes night next turn. If it is night and a player casts at least 2 spells during their own turn, it becomes day. And remember, even if the creature that began the day-night cycle is destroyed, you still need to track for the rest of the game, whether it's day or night, during each and every upkeep, because every other day-bound and night-bound card that comes into play later will need this relevant information. Isn't that great? In addition to the stickers, the attraction deck, tracking day and night, you'll also need dungeons, as we'll be entering the dungeon, as well as familiarity with what the initiative is. The initiative is different than dungeons, though it can interact with them, so you'll want to have a copy of the Undercity as well. Whenever you take the initiative and at the beginning of your upkeep, venture into the Undercity. If a player already has entered a dungeon different than the Undercity, when the initiative triggers, it moves further into that dungeon. Once a player has the initiative, they retain the initiative until another player's creature deals combat damage to them, at which point that creature's controller takes the initiative. Got it? Good. Now, brush up on how Mutate works, because we're running a lot of Mutate cards in this deck, as well as Transform cards such as Jetfire, Ingenious Scientist, not to mention Planeswalkers from the Fire era of design, a bunch of Modern Horizons 2 cards. Hope you grabbed those when they were cheap. Were they ever cheap? Hope you grabbed them anyway. And also, it'll be a good idea to read how Companion now works, because the deck has a Companion. Sound fun? Too bad. Deny my entrance application, will you? Well, get ready for the Commander deck of the future. Today! What better commander for the Commander deck of the future than the commander of Ambassador Bloppity Blurp Bloop, a powerful creature from the new Eternal Legal Unfinity set. Ambassador Bloppity Blurp Bloop is a 5-mana, 3/3 Simic Alien Advisor Guest. When Ambassador Bloppity Blurp Bloop enters the battlefield, you get 3 tickets. Then you can put a sticker on a non-land permanent you control. But that's not all. At the beginning of combat, you may have Ambassador Bloppity Blurp Bloop's base stats become equal to the total power and toughness on all stickers on permanents you control. Now, the only thing that could make Ambassador Bloppity Blurp Bloop better is if they had a partner, which is why I've decided to pair the Alien Advisor with a companion. Ambassador Bloppity Blurp Bloop meet Karuga, the Macro Sage. If Ambassador Bloppity Blurp Bloop is the deck's general, Karuga is their right-hand hippo. Karuga is a 5/4 Simic Dinosaur Hippo for 5 mana, plus the additional 3 you must pay to add the companion to your hand. Karuga's deck building restriction requires that your deck have no non-land cards that are less than 3 mana value. That includes your commander, but thankfully Ambassador Bloppity Blurp Bloop is well above Karuga's criteria. Think of Karuga's deck building restriction as, you must be this tall to ride this ride. When Karuga enters the battlefield, you'll draw a card for each permanent you control that meets Karuga's height. Mana value requirement. And since all the cards in our deck meet that criteria, we'll be sure to grab a ton of cards whenever the Dinosaur Hippo enters play. Back to our main attraction, Ambassador Bloppity Blurp Bloop. Now, Ambassador Bloppity Blurp Bloop cares about putting permanents into play and then putting stickers on those permanents, specifically power and toughness stickers. To do this, we're going to need to earn ourselves some tickets. One of the best way to generate tickets in our deck is with Ticket Turbo Tubes. This card is a 3-mana artifact that's both a mana rock and a ticket mine. Pay 3 mana, tap Ticket Turbo Tubes, and voila! You get yourself a ticket. Done for the Day is a 3-mana green enchantment that reads, at the beginning of your end step, if you control an employee, a performer, or a robot, you may get a ticket or create a treasure token. If you control all 3, you may put a sticker on non-land permanent you own. Employee, performer, or robot, you say? Well, we better include some of those. Bioluminary Ballerina, Monitor, Petting Zookeeper, Ticket Automaton, Still Strider, and Wizards of the Blank, y'all can fill in that blank at home, all up are creatures that trigger Done for the Day count, while also providing a synergistic boost to our deck on their own. Bioluminary, Ticket Automaton, and Still Strider each generate tickets and allow us to put stickers on our non-land permanents. Bioluminary is the best for this, since she offers a source of repeatable ticket generation and stickers. That's ticket advantage, baby. Ballerina and Wizards of the Blank, along with Blankosaurus, also put stickers in play, but they focus on name stickers specifically rather than power or toughness stickers. This is important because it means we're coming at our opponents from multiple angles of attack. Are our opponents developing their game plan around us putting a power and toughness sticker on a creature? Then blam, hit them with the gelatinous name sticker. Now you have a gelatinous Ambassador Bloppity Blurp Bloop. Have they adjusted to your name sticker onslaught? Boom, your Bioluminary is a 6/9. Nice. But stickers aren't the only game object we're loading up on in our deck. Monitor, and Petting Zookeeper allow us to open up attractions, which means we'll need an attraction deck. The best attraction at our disposal is Costume Shop, allowing us to turn our tickets into stickers every time we visit it. Unfortunately, that's the only attraction that involves stickers, and we need to bring 10 attractions in order to bring an attraction deck. So I've fleshed out the attraction deck with a variety of useful attractions to visit. Balloon Stand can grant Ambassador Bloppity Blurp Bloop flying. Bounce Chamber and Ferris Wheel keep our opponent's board clear of scary permanents. The Concessions Stand keeps our life total nice and high. Information Booth, Storybook Ride, and Trash Bin all grant a flow of card advantage. Pick-a-Beeble generates a mana advantage, and Tunnel of Love works as either a way to double our enters the battlefield triggers, or have our big creatures fight our opponent's smaller creatures. But of course, no theme park is complete without guests. Let's take a look at some of the thrill seekers who have visited our deck on their precious time off. Clandestine Chameleon and Wicker Picker, the Sticker Kicker Giver, generate even more tickets which can be used to buy stickers. And Grabby Tabby is an efficient beater that gets stronger once you have a sticker on a permanent. And trust me, you will. Squirrel Squatter, while not a guest, helps us in our quest to open attractions and is a great payoff for visiting the attractions we've opened. Now, on to the rest of our creature base. The Tyrannid Toxicrene helps gum up the ground and provide mana fixing, while also turning off our opponent's land's abilities. Vanguard Suppressor is a great mana sink that chips in for flying damage and refilling our hand with fresh cards. Old One-Eye is a recursive threat that grants Ambassador Bloppity Blurp Bloop trample, important in a strategy like ours that wants to turn our general sideways. Jetfire, Ingenious Scientist, is a new card from the Brothers War Transformers crossover. But boy, is this guy a doozy in our deck. 5 mana for a 3/4 flying robot, that can also be a 3/4 flying vehicle that buffs itself over time as you sink more mana into it. And since the front side of Jetfire is a robot, it triggers Done for the Day. Now that's what I call synergy. Most of our guests and various Carnival employees are non-humans, so it only makes sense to add some mutate creatures to complement them. Migratory Greathorn provides us some ramp, while an Angurious Armored Killer, Sawtusk Demolisher, and Pouncing Shore Shark offer a diverse interaction suite. Souvenir Snatcher can steal any scary artifact our opponents might play, and also ties in perfectly with the flavor of our deck, despite being an Ikoria Commander card and not an Infinity card. And of course, these dinosaurs wouldn't be complete without the king of monsters himself, Godzilla, Primeval Champion. Godzilla works perfectly in our deck as an additional way to give trample to Ambassador Bloppity Blorp Bloop. Now, depending on how you look at it, you could argue that dungeons are a lot like carnivals. So of course we'll be venturing into the dungeon in this deck too. Displacer Beast and Wandering Troubadour do so in the normal way, while Arakocra, Sneak, and Avenging Hunter allow you to take the initiative and explore the Undercity, because again, we want to attack from multiple disparate angles. Lastly, we've got a suite of day-night enablers who provide us with a range of useful tools. Averbrook Caretaker provides a consistent buff to our creatures and grants them hexproof whenever it's night. Tovalar's Huntmaster floods the board with wolves and turns them into removal spells when on its nightbound side. Howlpack Piper can cheat our more expensive creatures into play and refill our hand with more creatures whenever it transforms to its nightbound side. And of course, Component Collector can help tap down our opponent's blockers every time it goes from night to day or day to night. These cards get better the more we can manipulate whether it's day or night. Because of this, I've included the Celestus. The Celestus is a 3-mana rock that can change the time of day on your turn. Whenever day becomes night or night becomes day, you get 1 life and have the option to loot if you wish. The Celestus fits perfectly in our deck, allowing us to sculpt our hand, fix our mana, and decide whether it's night or day. Now, just because the bulk of our deck is made up of creatures doesn't mean we shouldn't have some spells in here, too. Coming Attraction is a ramp spell that doubles as an attraction enabler, while Finishing Move is a removal spell that generates tickets and stickers. Bar the Gate is a powerful counterspell for our opponent's threats that helps us venture deeper into the dungeon. For our card draw suite, Winged Portent and Inspired Idea are powerful cleave spells that keep our hands stocked. Search the Count's Castle is an efficient way to dig through our deck and discard excess lands. Denting Blows and Reroll provide us with more interaction, as does this fancy Secret Lair Beast Within. Since we can't play any spells that cost less than 3 mana due to Karuga, we'll need some way to not fall behind early. Thus, I've included some free spells from the Modern Horizons sets: Force of Negation, Force of Vigor, Subtlety, and Endurance. These, as well as the Petty Theft mode on Brazen Borrower, give us ways to interact on the first 2 turns of the game. While most Planeswalkers aren't at their best in Commander, we've got a few in here that synergize with our deck perfectly. Eliwick Trumblestrom provides another venturing into the dungeon outlet. Karn the Great Creator and Narset Parter of Veils are excellent stack pieces from the beloved standard set War of the Spark. And also from War of the Spark, we've got Jace, Wielder of Mysteries, as a win condition for when our library is empty. I wanted to include Thassa's Oracle in this slot, but I decided that Karuga was too valuable to give up, even for Thassa's Oracle. And of course, no Simic deck is complete without everyone's favorite Planeswalker, Uro, Thief of Crowns. I mean Oko, Titan of Nature's Wrath. No, I'm sorry, wait, I've confused myself. Just to be safe, let's play both Oko and Uro and call it good. Alright, let's talk artifacts and enchantments. Make a Splash and Motion Sickness are blue enchantments that can tap down your opponent's creatures, which will allow you to get in for a big swing with your Ambassador Bloppity Blurp Bloop. Now, our deck gets a lot better when certain permanents are in play, such as Done for the Day, Bioluminary, Wicker Picker, the Celestus, and Oko, Thief of Crowns. Therefore, we need a way to search up these important cards and put them directly on the battlefield. Enter the Cube. This powerful Fortnite card is 6 mana for a legendary artifact. For 8 mana, we can tap it to search our library for any permanent. What a card! Thank you, Fortnite! But Fortnite isn't the only universe beyond Magic the Gathering that we've tapped into for our deck. The wonderful orcs of Warhammer $40,000 have donated Vulture to our deck, a vehicle that can bolt down our opponent's creatures and and planeswalkers whenever it enters the battlefield or attacks. From the fantasy football players over at Blood Bowl, we've got Perfect Defense. This enchantment is another way to search up specific creatures and put them onto the battlefield. Unstable Harmonics from the League of Legends universe is a card draw engine that'll have you asking your opponents if they pay the 1 over and over and over and over and over. And of course, the Hex Core, a 4-mana artifact that taps for 3 colorless mana. Lastly, we've got a couple of cards that pair great with our Narset Barter of Veils. The Secret Lair Teferi's Puzzle Box synergizes with Narset Stack's ability, leaving our opponents empty-handed while we beat them to death with our alien commander. And Time Twister, an efficient card draw spell, is the perfect card to cast once you've got a Narset in play. You and your opponents shuffle your hands and all graveyards away. And then you draw 7 cards and your opponents will each draw 1. Now, if you want to get your hands on a Time Twister, your best bet will be to open up some packs of Magic 30 Collector's Edition. How many packs? Well, there's no way to know. But don't worry, as this was a celebration of 30 years of Magic the Gathering, I'm sure they're plentifully available. I mean, it's just a few dozen packs of Magic 30 Collector's Edition. How much could that cost, Michael? $10,000? Finally, we've got our lands. We'll be playing Field of the Dead as a way to turn our land drops into zombies. And because Field needs lands with different names, how about a split of regular basics and snow basics? I don't know about you, but I think this deck is the perfect opportunity to play with my full art Modern Horizons snow basics and signal to my opponents that my deck is a rousing success. But if you don't want to erect a mana base like these, there's also snow art from Secret Lair drops you can use. And of course, we'll want fetch lands. One of each green and blue fetch land should do the trick. Remember, you can use any green or blue fetch land to tutor up a dual land with the basic land types of the Simic colors. So if you opened up a tropical island during your quest to find a Time Twister in Magic 30, this deck is the perfect place for it. You know, we had a lot of fun today at Tolarian Community College, and Ambassador Bloppity Blorp Bloop Plop Bloop with Karuga, the Macro Sage, really is the perfect commander for your next game night. So enjoy this fully eternal legal deck wherever Commander is played. No, really, wherever Commander is played. So whether you're at your local game store or Myra the Magnificent's Intergalactic Astrotorium of Fun, remember, the future of Commander is within our grasp. We need merely reach out and take it for our own. Don't forget to like and subscribe and all that crap.
Time on Shuffle Up and Play.
Welcome to Shuffle Up and Play. Today it's Commander with decks we love.
And I brought my mom's deck.
That we think are fair.
Did you pay you?
I'm already sick of it.
Let's see how you feel when you go up against it. Everybody please pass your deck to the right.
What?
No!
Wait,
yeah.
But I like this one!
Yeah.
Gibberge. I would say that about half of these cards are in English, by the way.
You see, Voxy, you make a target of yourself.
What did I do?
You cast Luminarch Ascension and you started ascending.
1/1 soldier creature token.
I sacrifice a 0/1 to kill it.
Have you been playing with one more mana recently? The petty is off the charts and I love it.